We're live.
Welcome to the Lost Together podcast. Just one humble man's effort to convince his wife that Lost is one of the greatest television shows ever acted in, produced, written, anything. Listen.
Just ever seen with human eyeballs.
Yeah. Or any other kind of eyeballs if your dogs are into it. There's at least one dog character on the show. So Vincent,
Yeah,
I hear
Vincent.
he was really, really huge in the canine community, I think. Whenever this show was on. So today we're going to talk about episode 10 in season 1, Raised by Another. What was the 10th episode? Originally aired on December 1st, 2004. And it is a Claire episode, so a Claire-centric flashback. So as always, before we kind of get into a recap, just general thoughts. What'd you think about this one?
I thought it was great. I thought that it centered a lot around women and pregnancy, just men thinking in general that they know more about a pregnant woman's experience as a pregnant woman. So that was really great and interesting. But yeah, it was a good episode.
So
I've never been pregnant in the jungle, so, you know, she's got that on me. But the rest of it, I was like, okay, I'm with you. I've been there. I see you.
for anybody who's been an even semi-regular listener of our podcast, you may remember that one of the very first things I asked in the first episode is if Morgan was ready to be a mental fan, I think I said, of another TV show that is not The Handmaid's Tale. So you may have detected some themes in things that Morgan cares about.
Oh, women's rights.
Yeah, which is awesome. We have 3 daughters, so
Yeah.
I'm passionate about that as well.
And I have lived my whole entire life as a woman, and, you know, we'll do that, I guess, till forever. And so I have strong feelings about women's rights.
In fairness, you know, as a dad of 3 and I'm married to a woman, I think I know at least as much.
It's so funny.
I'm Jack right now.
God.
I know as much. So, yeah, you're right. Great episode in that regard. And actually, I was kind of surprised when we were watching back through it. A couple of these things really do feel different now. I know the first time I watched Lost, my oldest was born, and so she was only a couple of months old, so very, very young. I was not even kind of into parenthood yet, just still in the kind
You're
of shock
surviving.
and awe. Like, yeah, just not sleeping.
Mm-hmm. You're not parenting. You
Yeah.
are surviving.
Yeah, surviving very early. Just feeling like I'm on an island after a plane crash, getting stabbed in the stomach with a needle. So, without further ado, and before we get into themes of the episode and further discussion, let's have a brief recap of our episode, Raised by Another, by none other than Morgan.
So we'll start off at the top. These men ain't shit. Let's start there.
I think it even says that at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah,
Is it
there's a
captioned?
disclaimer. It comes up and says, "Dear viewers, these men ain't shit.
Yeah, because it's now
Watch at your own. Yeah, watch at your own discretion."
Because it's now airing on Netflix, there was a trigger warning at the beginning that was like, trigger warning, men who are not shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
the following men are not shit. Yeah, so obviously we open up with Claire and her boyfriend Thomas, and Thomas sucks. Is Thomas British?
No, he's Australian.
His accent was not like hers.
Maybe the actor who was playing Thomas might have been British, but he was definitely Australian.
Okay, because his accent was British, but it
What
wasn't.
about my paintings? I think he said at one point. So I think he's...
No, he didn't say, "What about my yacht?" He didn't say that. He said,
paintings.
"What about my yacht?"
I think he's specifically talking about his painting.
No, he literally says, when he breaks up with Claire, he goes, "What about my yacht? My life?" But he doesn't say it super Australian.
Listeners, I'm willing to hedge a bet here. I'm almost certain he says paintings.
I will literally rewind this episode right now. He says, "What about my life? My yacht?"
Pretty sure he says, what about my paintings? I think he does.
Whatever. Anyway, doesn't matter. I don't know if he's British or Australian, but I do know he's a bitch. Because she finds out she's pregnant. She's like freaking out. And then he says, "Claire, we can do this."
That's pretty good.
I thought so.
Yep.
So then she's like, "We can do this." And so then they decide to have the baby. And then she gets like 3 or 4 months into pregnancy. And then he goes, "I'm breaking up with you. It's real now."
Can't do this.
Dude, it was real 3 months ago, my dude. And I don't know what the abortion laws are in Australia, but I'm sure it's not 3 months.
I don't know what the abortion laws are in Australia, but they did not discuss abortion in this
Yeah, well,
episode.
I'm just saying, like, you are too far in the game
Yes.
for some cold feet. You can't be leaving. There's a full baby in there. You know, too late, my dude. You should have figured that out a long time ago.
Agreed.
So she ends up going to a psychic who she sees him multiple times. The first time she sees him, he's so tripped out, he gives her her money back and says, "I can't do this, get out." So then she comes back later with more money and says, "Can you please give me a reading?" And then he gives her a reading, and he's like, "Literally the only person that can raise this baby is you. Nobody else, no other people." And she says, "Well, that sucks for you and the baby, because I am putting this baby up for adoption. Like, tomorrow I'm going to meet the adoption people." And he's like, "Cool. Here's some plane tickets. Go get on this plane." Knowing full and good and well that that plane was going to crash. Because she's got like the Antichrist or something in her stomach. And if it's raised by anybody other than her, it will unleash actual hell, I guess. I don't know.
Well, it's not made clear. It's just implied that something is definitely up with this baby. So
Yeah, if Claire doesn't raise the baby, we're going to be seeing the 4 horsemen or whatever.
if you're interested, Australia does have legal abortion, although like America, not like America because technically legal all over Australia, but it's different depending on the territory. So some restrict it from anywhere to 22 to 24 weeks, and in Tasmania, that's the shortest one, which is 16 weeks. So
Okay.
yeah.
So that's what's going on in Claire's life. That's pretty much it. She's pregnant. She got dumped. She got on a plane, knowing good and full and well. Oh, another thing that I thought was really cool, and I was like, "Yay, Claire." She did go to the adoption place, and she was fixing to sign the baby over, and then 2 pins in a row didn't work. And she took the sign. Good for you. That was a straight, flat-out sign. Good for you, Claire. I mean, it ended her up on an island in a plane crash, but still, she got the baby. So on the island, she's having like sleepwalking episodes. She's screaming and hollering in the middle of the night. She says somebody tried to stab her with a needle, and we've been introduced to a new character who's a freaky freakster named Ethan Rom, who we've literally never seen before. I've never seen this man.
He was in a previous episode.
In the trees? Where was he at?
No, he was picking stuff up on the beach.
Well,
And he actually introduces himself as Ethan in a prior episode. So
he's a total freak show, freak fest.
they did pick an interesting looking actor, William Maypother, the name of the actor that they picked. So he's very interesting looking. So
Yeah. So another cool thing that I noticed in her first like nightmare sequence, she's like walking through the jungle. She can hear the baby crying. She wakes up and she's not pregnant anymore. And then she takes off trying to follow the baby cries. And freaking John Locke is sitting at a table in the middle of the jungle. And he's got a deck of cards in front of him. And he picks up the first card, and it's like a sword unsheathing, like a shing sound. Like a knife. And then he looks up and he goes like, I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, "You fucked it up, and so now everybody's fucked."
yeah, John Locke didn't say that.
And his eyes were black.
He said, "You gave it up, Claire."
And now everybody has to pay or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what I said. So then she goes to the crib, and it's all bloody and stuff. There's no baby. It's just a big pile of blood. Poor, sweet baby Charlie is shooting every shot he's got with Claire. And she's got abandonment issues. She's 15 months pregnant on an island. She's not trying to get involved with all that. I feel you, girl. I see you, and I get it.
Did you pick up the fact that, because when she's having her fight with Thomas early on, he says, here it comes.
Your
the
daddy issues.
Abandonment, your daddy issues.
Yuck.
Right.
I bet his mommy didn't love him.
Well, probably not, based on how he's behaving. Who
Right,
would love him?
right.
But I thought that was interesting because obviously we don't get to know much about Claire's past, other than she just got pregnant.
Well,
by the
because
super loser Thomas.
Yeah, and she says when she's tripping about being pregnant, she's like, my mom's going to disown me. And then he says, she pretty much already has. So we're led to believe that, like, she's kind of on her own out there in the world.
Yeah, and Dad is definitely not around.
Right.
So, carry on.
Yeah, that's pretty well it. I mean.
Okay, so this episode, really interesting to me because of and this is one of those things that when I was watching it, picked up on it, and we talked about it. I won't lie to any listeners that we've got. We talked about it before we got on mic. But I remember watching this the first time, and Ethan introduces himself in this episode while something you didn't mention, Hurley doing the census.
Oh, yeah, Hurley's doing a census.
So, yeah, Hurley's doing the census, and Boone makes the suggestion that he should just get the flight manifest, which Sawyer has.
Does he have, like, everything?
He's a hoarder. Like, he literally just goes and hoards it as a means for leverage.
Sure.
Right? And then Hurley just walks up to Sawyer and was like, hey, listen, dude, like, you have it. I want it.
You should give it to me.
You really should just give it to me, and you need the points, right? Which is actually incredibly persuasive, if you think about it, because it's not hostile. It's just like, this is what I want. And also, man, you could really use the points. Like, people, like, we remember that Sawyer went up and tried to be kind of playful with people while they're playing golf and betting on the shots and all that. So, Sawyer's trying to rehabilitate his image a little bit with the people on the island. And Hurley knows that and then directly exploited it to get the manifest. Good for Hurley. And then he discovers that Ethan Rom was not on the manifest. And Ethan Rom he actually runs into Charlie in the jungle whenever Claire is having false labor. Charlie goes back, but he can't bring himself to, because Claire's like, go get Jack. And Charlie cannot pry himself away from Claire, runs into Ethan in the jungle and is like, Claire's having the baby. And then Ethan pops up at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, go get Jack. So Ethan runs away, and then throws all his big sticks down and runs off.
Yeah, just picking up sticks, by
Huge
the way.
sticks, like, logs almost.
Yeah.
Big ol'.
For fire, I guess, but like...
Sure, or what the hell ever they're doing. Who knows? Maybe they're building a boat. I don't know. Another thing that I forgot to leave out in my little synopsis of the episode is freaking Saeed's back.
Yep,
Saeed came back, and he has let them know that he met the French woman, and she's an interesting character, and they're not alone.
Yes, and then as he's saying...
Oh, yeah, and then Hurley's like, oh, I found the manifest. And there's an extra person on the island who was not on the plane. And then we cut to Claire and Charlie in the island. Charlie has persuaded Claire to come back to the caves because she got all pissed off after nobody has been believing her in her sleep deprivation and definite lack of nutrition and prenatal care. And she's having all these horrible episodes. So she gets pissed off that nobody believes her, that somebody's been trying to stab her stomach with a needle, and goes like she's going to the beach. So Charlie's like, come on back to the caves. So we turn around, and there's Ethan looking like a total weirdo out there with a weird smile on his face.
I do feel like, before we may as well go ahead and get into it because it's the main theme of the episode, I feel like I need to defend Jack coming to the conclusion that Claire is hallucinating these things.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they establish it pretty early in the episode when she has a nightmare and literally, as he says, digs her fingernails a quarter-inch into her palms.
Yeah. She is in psychosis.
Yeah. She has established psychosis, right? And Jack offers to give her a sedative, but this, what we, now assume is an actual attack based on the end of the episode. She can distinguish between the two, but Jack can't, based on the two.
Yeah, well, he's just looking at it from like a medical fact point of view and not like hey, we're on a magic island where maybe somebody has come up with a needle and is trying to stab Claire, even though she didn't have any marks on her stomach, allegedly, from the attack.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he looked at her stomach. There was nothing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm really trying not to give something away. Okay, so...
Did I miss it?
No.
Okay.
Nope, you're good.
Was it on her back? Did they try to stab her back?
No. I'm just saying there's a way you could stab somebody in their stomach and it might not necessarily
In their belly button?
show a mark.
In their belly button? She's pregnant. What does her belly button even look like? I didn't have a belly button. It went away. I did not have a belly button. Remember?
Yes, I remember. Of course I do.
I don't know what Claire's belly button looks like. I've never paid attention.
Time of my life. Yeah, so it's an interesting theme to have in the show. People telling Claire what to do.
Mm-hmm. The whole episode.
Yeah, I mean, if there's somebody, I don't know. I go back and forth on this because I feel like it's different for Charlie to tell Claire what to do and for Jack to tell Claire what to do.
Because Jack is medically educated?
Yes.
Okay.
Jack is a doctor.
Yeah.
Right? Claire's pregnant.
Yes.
Very pregnant.
Yes.
It's like, I don't know. I just feel like for example, if I'm in a hospital and I'm really not well and I'm in the hospital and I get up and walk around, I start walking around and my doctor goes, you really should not be doing that. And I go like, I know better than you, and just stroll down the hallway. Like, I think people would think I was a maniac probably, you know, but in this case, it's like intuition or something like.
Yeah. I mean, she is the one who's like experiencing the pregnancy, and she knows how the baby moves and when it moves, and all that kind of. Mothers are in tune with the babies in their bellies in a way that sometimes maybe might defy medicine.
Well, and that kind of gets into the other thing because there's a more interesting thing in this episode to me that's not like, it's obvious that, like, of course the men in this episode think they know best and think that Claire's going insane and all that. And
right.
I mean, throughout the course of human history, women having a difference of opinion from the men around them would eventually just be chalked up to, lunacy or whatever.
It's a shame they don't have any lobotomy tools on the island. It really would have made their life a lot easier.
It's now an episode of Nurse Ratched. The more interesting thing in the episode to me, but any other thoughts about the men ain't shit string of stuff happening on the island at the moment?
No, I'm just being a dick. They're all trying to be helpful. Nobody knows what's going on. Everybody's just trying to be helpful. Charlie's trying to be helpful.
Is he?
Yes. Are you joking? Why do you not like Charlie?
Is Charlie trying to be helpful, or is Charlie trying to net himself a wife?
Oh my God. Where are they going to get married? Underneath the freaking...
By the island priest?
In the fuselage, they're going to go say their vows.
The thing is, if you're on an island, right, marriage is just a piece of paper anyway, right?
Yeah.
But, like, it's whatever you make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just using the term wife colloquially. Like, Charlie's trying to net himself a partner then. How about that?
What's wrong with that?
She's kind of going through a really tough time right now.
He is too.
Yeah, but hers is tougher. She's about to push a baby out.
Yeah, he's coming off drugs.
Yeah, I think Claire is in more jeopardy than Charlie.
Okay, one of those things is going to be a forever altering of your own life, sure. Mm-hmm. But both of them are lifelong situations that you're in. Charlie will forever be a former drug addict.
That's
he
true.
Will always have heroin knocking at his door.
I'm not saying that Charlie's thing is not hard. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that Claire's thing is harder.
Well, my favorite phrase of all time, and I think that maybe I came up with it, but maybe I didn't. Suffering is not a competition.
You didn't come up with that.
Okay. Well, maybe I have said that.
You probably saw it on a motivational poster somewhere.
Suffering is not a competition. Okay. Hard is hard. That's not to say that all hard is equal, but I think that it sucks when people diminish other people's struggles by going like, but yeah, my thing is really hard.
Okay, babe, if I get the common cold.
See, here you go.
And you get the flu, mm-hmm. and you're laid up in bed sore and with a fever, and I sit down and go, boy, I'm really having a tough time breathing. Don't you think I'm, I don't know, an asshole? Like, I mean, your thing is definitely harder.
I see what you're saying.
Shouldn't I go? All I'm saying for Charlie, right, is like maybe he should wait till the baby's born, because this is not exactly her focus. Like getting a man is not super her focus right in the moment.
I think that it makes Charlie more admirable and sweeter that he's on it before the baby's born.
Laying claim.
No.
Yep.
He's showing Claire that, like, hey, you are literally fat and huge and pregnant and sick and crazy, but I love you anyway.
I am guessing that if we polled our listeners, all 5 of them, right, there would be a stark gender divide on this situation.
I like Charlie. I think Charlie's sweet. I think he's doing his best. I think that Claire's lucky to have him around. Yeah, he's kind of annoying, but it's all out of love. He really is. He's out of love, or, I mean, maybe not love, but care, looking out for her and this baby that is not his.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's weird to shoot your shot with somebody that's like just getting ready to give birth. Like she's got more important things to worry about than whether you guys are going to be together. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like it can't wait just a little bit. Like she was literally going into labor, possibly in the middle.
Yeah,
of the jungle.
and guess who was there? Charlie.
Also, Charlie is prioritizing what he thinks is best in the situation and not what Claire thinks is best. Claire wanted him to go get Jack, and he delegated that shit. He ran into somebody in the woods and was like, she specifically ran his ass off to go.
She just wanted Jack.
Right.
She just wanted Jack.
She wanted Charlie to go get Jack.
Because Charlie was the only other person around her as far as she knew.
Yeah, what is Charlie adding to Claire that's not what she asked for? Like,
companionship.
She told him to go and get Jack, and he was like, well, I know you said I should go get Jack, but I actually had somebody else do it. Imagine me doing that with anything.
Oh, so you found another capable human being to go send off to do the thing so that you could come and be back with me as I'm literally laboring on a jungle floor?
You are wrong on this. Charlie was trying to stay with her, okay? Mm-hmm. He was.
Yeah.
She told him to go and get Jack. You don't think maybe a part of her was a little annoyed at him going like, it's okay, I'll figure it out. I'm a drug addict, right? Like,
yeah.
Do you don't think that maybe she was a little annoyed and wanted some quiet?
I think she just wanted Jack. I don't think that she wanted Charlie, specifically Charlie, to go get Jack.
If you go back and rewatch that scene, I promise you what you're going to see is Charlie acting like a crazy person.
He was being a little needy and clingy.
His needs are not important right now. They aren't.
Yeah.
And maybe that really just is my like, it's kind of my philosophy showing through here, but it's like my needs when you are just about to have a baby, not that important. I'll put them off.
Yeah.
Like, I think Charlie should put him off. I think he should quit being such a little baby back. You know, he should just do what she needs him to do. Mm-hmm. And what she wanted him to do was go and get Jack. Mm-hmm. Imagine if he actually did what she asked him to do. Instead of
then she would have been left out there with Ethan Rom.
Yeah, but Ethan Rom didn't know that she was out there having contractions until Charlie told him.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. If he had done what she told him to do, this situation wouldn't be happening.
That's true.
Jack would be there taking care of her and saying, oh, look at you and how much better you are. Come back to the caves. Let's get you some water. But instead, they've got old creepy-ass Ethan Rom staring at him, and then the episode ending. Bomb! And then Lost popping up on the screen. It's scary. Anyway.
That's true.
Yeah. Charlie, not a vibe in this episode to me. But...
well, you don't like him.
I don't like him. But...
I like him.
I like him in some ways. I think his thing with Claire is creepy and weird.
Some people are into pregnant people.
Yeah, I get that. And, you know, but I don't know. I love his, like, self-redemption story. The Drive Shaft episode was great. Mm-hmm. Love anything with him and Hurley. Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
Yeah, they have great chemistry.
Stuff, but I just think his thing with Claire is creepy.
Yeah. Also, in this episode, we find out that Hurley is not Hurley's name. It's a nickname. His name is Hugo.
Hugo Reyes.
Hugo Reyes.
And he says, but I call myself Hurley. Why? I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah. It's like that TikTok we saw about the flour.
Yeah. How much flour?
I don't have to tell you.
I don't have to tell you. All right. So the more interesting theme to me in this episode is and it's not a theme, it's just a thing that happened. And I was like, oh, this is unique for me and Morgan. The visit to the psychic and the signs that Claire is getting. Now, and what will obviously be a sharp divide for me and Morgan. Crazy to me to spend money on a psychic or whatever for anything other than entertainment. Now, I would happily go see a psychic just for entertainment.
We have we not?
Nope.
We were gonna go.
Tried to, couldn't get an appointment.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Just because that's not a thing, as far as I can tell.
I completely disagree with you.
Well, you've never met one, so.
Not that I know of, no.
So why do you think it's a real thing?
I mean, I can't see the air I'm breathing, but I know it's there.
How are psychics affecting you in the same way that air is?
I'm just saying I don't have to physically experience something to believe in it.
You are physically experiencing air. You're breathing it.
I can't see it.
But how have you physically experienced a psychic?
I don't know how to get my way out of this corner you've put me in.
Yeah, you can't.
You see what I'm saying, though?
No.
Yeah.
No, definitely not. So the psychic visit, she goes to see the psychic, and he's like, oh, darkness.
He totally
or whatever.
freaks out. Freaks completely out.
Gives her the money back.
Yep.
But that is not as interesting to me as when she's signing the adoption papers and the pen doesn't work twice, and you say, she listened to the sign, perfect sign from the universe. Now listen, more than once in my life, 2 pens have not worked.
Yeah, when you're signing a life-altering document.
The thing is, the fact that pens can be defective, and often are defective, leads me to think that coincidence is possible.
What a sad boy life you must lead. Sad boy life you must lead. To not just have any room for magic at all. You have no room for magic.
I've got room for magic. Just not that.
Why?
Well, because she clearly doesn't actually want to go through with this, right? When she sits down. So this is equivalent to when people say that they get, and I'm gonna do the PC version of this. Please don't say the actual version of it.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the version that will be less offensive.
Okay.
It's like when people say, I was trying to figure out whether or not I should quit my job, so I just put it out in the universe. And what do you know? The universe told me that I should quit this job that I hate. So I'm doing it because the universe said so. Okay? You're just doing it because you want to. Claire decided
what's
not
that
to
called? Oh my God.
Confirmation bias.
Yes, confirmation bias.
Yeah. So Claire she has decided that she doesn't want to go through with the adoption. 2 pens didn't work. Those 2 things are only related because they're happening, at the same time. I don't believe that the universe is telling Claire that she should not put this baby up for adoption. I think that she clearly didn't want to put the baby up for adoption. Then the 2 pens didn't work, and then she was like, that's a sign.
Why can't both those things be true?
I just think there's no proof that one of them is true. And there's already proof. The thing is, maybe there could be proof that somewhere, somehow, that the 2 pens is a sign, right? But we know there's proof inside Claire that she didn't want to do this adoption.
Okay, well, you don't live inside her brain or body.
No, but Claire does.
Yeah, but you as a viewer and a person don't know what... I mean, she was going to do it. She was going to sign the shit.
You don't think her body language and tone conveyed very strong
hesitancy? Yeah, of course she was trepidatious about signing over her actual baby that she's been growing inside her body, been intimately in tune with for all these months. Yeah, typically that is a difficult decision, even for women who are resolute in the fact that they are going to put this baby up for adoption. They know that from the moment of conception. Surrogates, those kind of people. There has to be some level of it's an unreal, otherworldly connection that a mother and a baby have. So for her to hesitate, yeah, I think that is completely understandable.
Yeah,
but
I also
she
think
still
it's
picked up the pen twice. She was going to sign it. She was ready to sign it.
Yeah, but
She
didn't.
tried to sign it.
Yeah, but she really didn't want to sign it.
But she was going to.
Yeah, she felt like she didn't have a choice.
That's not true.
Well, she did.
Well, she ended up walking out. She knew there was a choice.
Yeah. Yeah, because she wasn't trusting her own judgment, which she had. So she was looking for a sign, but ultimately it's just her judgment that led her to walk out of that room. Not a sign from the universe.
Well, yeah, it's not like the universe came and smacked her on the forehead and was like, get out of here, bitch.
Well, but according to what you said earlier in this podcast, that's essentially what happened, because you said she took the sign.
Yeah, I mean, like physically smacking her in the face. Yeah, it all but did that.
Yeah, I just...
You got to have room for a little magic. And who's to say that deep intuition isn't the universe in some way? We're all galactic on the inside, you know, made out of stardust and all that.
What?
You don't think that...
No, what do you mean? What are you talking about?
Well, I just mean that maybe intuition is otherworldly. Like, it's magic.
Magic?
Yeah. In the way that signs and shit are magic.
So not...
I don't mean like hocus pocus, like I'm going to pull a rabbit out of my hat magic. I mean like real magic.
Yeah, I think intuition probably is not magic, though. Like...
Why?
Because we can explain intuition.
My God. Again, what a sad life you must live.
This is just like the ghost thing, where it's like...
Oh my God.
It
is actually.
But when you hear hoofbeats, think horses, not zebras. Like, why do we default to zebras in this situation? Here's the thing, right? If we were standing at the bottom of the Grand Canyon and a car drove off the top of the Grand Canyon, but instead of falling down, it just did a little donut in midair, right? And then went back onto the Grand Canyon. So a full donut. Then I'd have to say, well, that's just a fucking miracle right there. Like, there's some kind of otherworldly stuff happening there, because it literally, there's no physical explanation for that. Couldn't happen. So the only explanation is miracles. So then you go, well, those are zebras, right? Like, that's a zebra, not a horse. But when you hear like a downstairs, right? The default thought, I think, would be like something physical has made a noise downstairs in our house.
I'll tell you a funny story.
Okay.
The other night, or the other day, you were there. It was in the daytime. We were at my mom's house, and she was telling me that her dog had woken up at 4 o'clock in the morning and was like viciously... My mom has a wiener dog, so when I say that she was viciously barking, it's not like a Doberman, but she was losing her mind, barking, running all over the house, and Mom looked at me and said, chasing something. And I swear to God, my first thought was, it was a ghost. But out of my mouth, I said, ooh, like a bug or a mouse maybe? And then Mom was like, yeah, a mouse. And then I felt so relieved that she didn't say it was probably a ghost, because my first thought was the dog was chasing a ghost, because animals can see ghosts.
How do you know animals can see ghosts?
Because they react to things that we can't see. Okay, I'm not trying to have this conversation with you. This has nothing to do with the podcast. I just thought that was a little funny. You want to talk about confirmation bias? There it is. I believe in the otherworldly and the supernatural. And I believe that Claire experienced signs from the universe. And she's got the Antichrist in her belly or whatever.
Do you think it's weird at all that she first went to a psychic who told her that there would be grave danger if she gave this baby up, and then she went to do the adoption and suddenly just couldn't bring herself to sign papers? Don't you think maybe she was just influenced by the scary ass psychic who shoved a bunch of money back at her or whatever?
Yes.
Like, yeah, it's not a sign. She was scared. That's just fear. There's There's nothing magical about fear. It sucks.
It's a survival instinct.
Yeah, that's not magic, though.
No, I didn't say it was.
Yeah. Anyway. So, that's the episode. Obviously, if you guys can...
Do you believe in magic?
Yeah. Send an email. Call Claims Direct.
Put it out into the universe, and I'll receive it.
Yeah, I was going to say send an email, but like if you want to communicate with Morgan, just do it telepathically. She'll get it.
Go sit outside, cross-legged in the sunlight, and think really hard, and I will feel it.
So actually, if you have thoughts on this episode, do email losttogetherpodcast@gmail.com, and we will be happy to take your feedback on this episode, which we'll get to that segment here in just a little bit. But before we get to that segment, my favorite part of the Lost Together podcast, the predictions. So, babe, the next episode is one that we've talked about. I'm looking forward to it. It's called All the Best Cowboys Have Daddy Issues, the Fall Out Boy song edition of Lost. What is your prediction for what will happen in this episode? I will give you a hint. This is a Jack episode.
Okay, well, that makes sense because he obviously has daddy issues. His daddy's corpse is reanimated and is walking around this island, so... You know, that's where we are. I don't know. I think Claire's about to have this baby. I hope she's about to have this baby. She's been pregnant for a long ass time. They've been out here for weeks, and she's been about to pop. Get that baby out.
Well, do remember what happened at the end of this episode to try to inform your prediction.
Yeah, Ethan Rowe, or Rome, or whatever, is standing out in the jungle with Claire and Charlie. So I think Charlie's about to whoop his ass. Charlie is about to whoop Ethan Rowe's ass.
Rom. And for that prediction, I'll give you a 4.
Oh, no.
Out of 50.
You know you only give me 4s. What? It's like 452.
No.
Is that on purpose?
It's only up to 50.
Is that the numbers? Are you giving me the numbers that they put out at the thing?
What?
I already know about that. I know there's a guy underground that gives out numbers. Is that why you give me the same numbers all the time?
Oh, yeah. If anybody...
I've cracked the code.
Yeah, well, not quite. If anybody hasn't figured it out yet, the only scores that I have given Morgan for her predictions are 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, and 42.
Okay. I see. I thought it was weird that I kept scoring the same thing over and over again.
Which are, as Losties will call them, the numbers.
Yeah.
Which is not just, and it is... Nope.
Okay.
It's not what you think, but it's a lot. So
okay, sure.
Yeah, you get a 4 for
that good?
Ethan's. No, that's bad.
Okay.
It's a poor prediction.
Okay.
Charlie whooping Ethan's ass. Not gonna happen.
Okay.
All right. So what else might happen in this episode?
Excuse me. I think that, well, since Saeed is back and he said, hey, I found the French woman and we're not alone, there's going to be a pack of them that go out to try to find her or the other people that are on the island. So there's going to be like a posse.
Yep, I'll give you a 23 on that.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, outside of that, I don't know.
So we're still none the wiser on our other favorite segment, aptly named, What the Fuck is Going On? So no greater idea what's going on the island.
Not a clue. Not a clue. I think maybe it's some kind of like government breeding ground of experiments, maybe.
23.
Really?
Yeah, not insanely accurate, but you're getting warmer.
Okay.
Warmer.
It's some kind of like it's something to do with the government or the military or something to that effect.
Why do you think that?
Sure. Well, the French woman, she was with some sort of military group, was she not? But it was like a scientific military group.
Research group, yeah.
Research, that's the word. So the government either already knows that there's something special about this island, or they put all the special shit out there and did like a Lord of the Flies situation and just kind of let that ecosystem happen. And then now they're going out to like explore it, sending people out there to explore it. And it's just going haywire.
Excellent. Well, That is probably your best big picture prediction yet.
It's my only one.
Again, no, I think one of our early episodes there was a more general prediction about they're dead or something.
Oh yeah, about it being in purgatory.
Yeah, which I dispelled quickly. But we're gonna move on now to my favorite part of the show: message in a bottle. So for this episode's message in a bottle, we're just going to Facebook, going back to our favorite Lost Facebook page, Lost, disproving the, quote, unanswered questions myth from moderator Greg Dusty. So under the last episode, so under where we posted the Confidence Man reaction, Greg said, "Another great job, well done. One thing to point out is that while Josh Holloway was born in San Jose, he then moved to Atlanta as a kid with his family, which is where he grew up and got his southern accent. Really looking forward to Solitary."
Yeah, I knew that he had to. That was too legit to be just pretend. He's got it right on the nose.
Well, if you think that's interesting, Greg also added, after going out of his way to lessen his southern accent to get a wider variety of work, he had to pick it back up to play the shady confidence man Sawyer on hit show Lost. So that's like a little piece of trivia from IMDb, I think, my favorite website. So so that makes sense. It makes better sense why it's so legit and to be a dude from California and to be able to do the accent so well.
Yeah.
And if you can't tell, I think, because you wouldn't say that Sawyer's doing an Appalachian accent like ours, right? Like,
No, he doesn't sound like he's from here.
no, I don't think because he's, well, I don't know if they've actually said where he's from on the show yet, so I don't want to spoil it for you, but he's the specific state that he's from.
He had that letter from the Knoxville Bicentennial, but you said that that's not where he's from.
No, that's not where he's from. Well, I think it's not a huge spoiler, really. He's from Alabama. So, I only know a couple of people from Alabama, and I don't think any of them sound a lot like Sawyer.
No.
But it's,
he's definitely not Appalachian.
No. So we're Appalachian, or consider ourselves Appalachian for anybody that is hearing our accents. But great. Thank you for the information. Thank you for contributing. Gotten a couple of people saying that they really like the show. Josh Coveney, I hope I'm saying your last name right, who commented under the Facebook post. So thank you for listening. Thank you anybody that's listening to this. I see that we get something like, I think every episode gets something near the 40s or something on views. Yeah. And wow. I mean, 2 of those are us.
I can't stand to hear my own voice, so I don't listen to them or look at all.
Well, I have the misfortune of editing through these episodes, so I had to get used to hearing my own voice. And the software that we use is really cool. It's called Descript. It's a website, and they would, I'm sure, love for people to know that that's how we did the editing. It's
super easy, too.
Very easy. It basically uses AI to build out a script of the words in the recording, and then you can go and edit the recording just by taking words out of the script. So you're literally just editing a script at that point. So when I get sick of hearing my own voice, I can just turn it down a little bit and take out a lot of the ums and ahs and you-knows, which we are, burying our listeners in you-knows.
Well, I don't know if they, sorry.
I
got a lot of fillers,
and like, some and such what. But anyway, thank you all, and we look forward to seeing you next week.